Well, hello and howdy, and welcome to the presentation. Thank you so much for being here. Everybody, I thank you. Look, this is the Sacred Division Paranormal Show, and we have our Paranormal Fridays. It is Friday, Friday, Friday. So just take a deep breath, chill, and relax. You know what I mean? Just here we go. We're going to have a good time. We're going to have a very good, I think, a very good conversation tonight. And I'm really interested in seeing what you guys um, think about this topic in just a second. But first, before we get into the meat and potatoes of the presentation, here's what I want you to do. I want you to go to a website, and that website is the folks that sponsor our shows, and it's KGRADB. It's KGRADB Radio, but it's KGRADB.com. All right, that's the website. KGRAD as in dog, B as in bicycle.com. Now, they have, if you love the paranormal, I love the paranormal, and I'm not going to apologize to anybody because I enjoy it. Yep, I enjoy it. And so what? We all have our preferences. We all have our likes and dislikes. I love the paranormal. I love the unknown. I think that's what I love about the paranormal, because it's the unknown. But anyway, if you want to go to the site, and I encourage you to, make sure you subscribe. They have lots of shows there. And yep, this show airs there as well in that format. But if you're going to subscribe, make sure you put Bishop as your promo code, because you're going to get 30% off your subscription. It's already cheap as it is, but why not save 30%? So again, they are sponsors to the show. So I don't know about screen recording, don't you? But that's what you guys can do. Check that out as well. Yeah, and keep in mind, the show is copyrighted. So people who want to screen and all this other stuff and then promote, you got to ask permission first. Otherwise, it's violation of copyright laws. So again, the website is kgradb.com. That is the radio network that we air the show on, and of course, they sponsor the show. Now, my website is simple. You want to go to it's bishopjameslong.com. That's it. Pretty simple. bishopjameslong, LONG.com. And then, of course, if you want to go to the church's website, USOCC. Well, thank you very much, Maddie. USOCC.org. Okay. And there you go. That's all the fun, exciting. Well, hello there on Spreaker. And we are on Spreaker, by the way, too. So we have it's on, I don't know what they call it, podcast. So all of the shows are on podcast. So you can go to my Spreaker account, and you can, if you want to go to listen to the paranormal show, if you want to go to listen to the Bible studies, but if you want to watch it, and you love paranormal, well, go to kgradb.com. Okay. So let me just say this very quickly. Trolls, I'm not going to pay attention to you. So you will not get any reaction out of me at all. I will not. I won't even acknowledge it. So I just don't. We're not in middle school. So I don't care. I really don't care about you. I don't care. So if you're that bored on a Friday night that you're going to harass clergy because we're talking about the paranormal, then you really have no life. And I thought my life, I listen to Gregorian chant, and I think that's workout music. I'm not kidding, guys. I'm listening. When I walk my 5 miles a day, I listen to Gregorian chant. That's workout music. So if you come and you're trolling on a Friday night, I please get a life. So I'm just giving you heads up right now, trolls. You will not get any attention from me at all. None whatsoever. You will be totally ignored. So you'll be wasting your time. But you will, however, get the attention of our moderators, and you will be blocked. So just be nice. Just be nice. It's real simple. Well, hello. I did see. Oh, that's a good question. I appreciate you. Someone was asking, did I watch the Exorcist trailer? By the way, that's come out. Thank you for asking that question. That's come out now, and I got to tell you something. I'm not a fan of it. Now, okay, but to be fair, a trailer is not the movie. So, okay, I get it. But I'm just not a fan of it. I saw the. I'm on Facebook. You can go to my bishopjameslong.com, bishopjameslong.com website, and you'll see my social media outlets. And Facebook is right there. Oh, speaking of Facebook, thank you for telling me that. Um, so anyway, I encourage you to. I'm not a big fan. I saw it and I was kind of like, you know, I just let me make it public. There we go. Now everybody can watch it on my Facebook page. But I just wasn't. I wasn't a big fan of it. Just well, I mean, there were some parts to The Exorcist, the trailer, the new one. There were some parts where, well, that's interesting, but I got to tell you, it just to me, it kind of looked like, oh, what a letdown, what a letdown. But that's my opinion. That's my humble opinion. So we'll see. I will I go see it? Yes, I will. Will I probably walk out in the middle of it? Probably. Probably. I hope not. But anyway, what are you going to do? There is a movie that I am wanting to see because I want to do a movie review and I haven't seen it yet. Let me double check it because somebody has told me it's actually a very good movie. And no, it's not the Barbie movie. I'm not going to watch the Barbie movie. No. Talk to me. Talk to me. It's rated R. I saw the it's interesting. I saw the trailer to that one. A friend of mine told me it's actually pretty intense. So I probably will try to check that out this weekend. And Nefarious is great. I agree, Jerry. Nefarious is great. I really truly believe there are very few good movies out there that really portray what an exorcism is like or a possession is like. First of all, The Rite. The movie The Rite with Anthony Hopkins, phenomenal. Truly phenomenal. It's based on Father Gary Thomas's life. He is a priest in California. I had him on my show once, actually. And so he is fantastic. Really a great guy. And The Rite, I think, is probably one of the best movies ever when it comes to an exorcism, because it gives you a perception. It gives you the perception of an exorcist perception. You can see life through our eyes. And I really like that. I just think that was pretty intense. So The Rite was fantastic. Now, the Pope's Exorcist was unbelievably stupid after the middle. I just got very frustrated. Matter of fact, I walked out. At the end, I just said, okay, this is dumb. I'm finished. The beginning and middle was okay. It was pretty good. But then it got really stupid. Like in the middle, going towards the end, it was like the anticipation. You know, you get on a roller coaster and it's going up, 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 and then instead of just really going down, it just kind of plateaus, and it was dumb. It's called The Pope's Exorcist. Terrible. Now, I have not seen The Sound of Freedom, but I have heard that is phenomenal as well. Father Lampert is very well known in the field, highly knowledgeable, very respected, a great theologian, really a fantastic theologian. So Father Lampert, I encourage anybody, if you want to learn about exorcism, if you want to learn about demonology, you can certainly take my online courses, but Father Lampert is fantastic. Fantastic. I did not like the Pope's Exorcist. But I am going to see The Exorcist when it comes out, the remake or the sequel. So we'll see how that goes. Now, folks, before we get into the conversation tonight, and tonight, for those of you who don't know, tonight we're going to talk about alien invasion. And I know some people are like, oh, hold on. Folks, something is going on. Something is going on. And we'll talk about that in a minute. I'm not a big conspiracy theorist guy. I'm just not. But I'm seeing something that concerns me. And I want to talk to you guys about this. I really do. I want to talk to you guys about this because it's strange. It is very, very strange. Yeah. They do have a chief exorcist. And actually, in all jurisdictions, they have an exorcist. Well, they're supposed to in the archdiocese. They're supposed to, but unfortunately, there's not in some cases. But I told you this would happen. I told you. For those of you who tuned in, remember I had talked about that I was working a case. It was not last Friday, but the Friday before I went to my conference, and I told you about a stupid board, a spirit board that they have out now. And I told you that somebody is going to end up buying this, and then activity is going to happen. Well, for those of you who are here a couple weeks, 2 weeks ago, actually, I told you that there was an emergency situation. It was an emergency case, and I had to get to a family immediately. Several of you stepped up, and you helped me get to that family's house. And on behalf of the family, they thank you, because I couldn't have done it without your help. Could not have done it. So I went to the family. Very violent case. This was not a possession case. It required the minor rite of exorcism. It was terrible. That was really violent. So here's what I'm going to do. On the top of the hour at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I'm going to talk about that and what happened. And I'm going to show you something that they purchased. One of the kids purchased something, and I'm going to show you what it is at the top of the hour. But you got to make sure. You have to make sure you stay with us. But for this hour, here's what we're going to do. Now, normally on TikTok, I have subscribers only for the chat for at 7 p.m. for the first hour. But I'm going to open it up on TikTok for everybody as long as we're kind of cool. For the first hour, I'm going to talk about my topic. And my topic today is alien invasion. And then we're going to get through that. And then once we get through that, then I'll answer all your demonic questions. And I've been doing this now for quite some time. I'm here every Friday. I'm here every Saturday. I'm here every Sunday and Wednesday. We do Bible study. But I'm here every single Friday. And I'm here sometimes until 9:30. And I answer all your questions about demonology and possession. And I've done it for a while now. And I'll continue to do it. So, but for the first hour, I have a topic. And the topic is alien invasion. And I want to talk to you guys about this. So, hang tight, hang on your questions, because right now, this first hour, this first hour is about alien invasion. The concept of an alien invasion has captured the human imagination for decades, fueling the creation of numerous fiction stories, science fiction stories, movies, conspiracy theories. Now, while the existence of extraterrestrial life remains speculative by some, contemplating the potential consequences of an alien invasion can shed light on our vulnerabilities, our resilience as a species, and the significance of unity in the face of adversity. Now, Mr. Producer, I don't know if you're still, are you still behind the scenes? Mr. Producer, he produces it on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and KGRADB radio, because Mr. Producer was able to get, oh, great, he is. Do we have the date when Travis Walton, I forgot when he said, was it the 20th that he'll be joining us? Or the 18th or something. I can't remember which one it was that we said. Oh, you'll contact him now? Okay, great. Thank you. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Mr. Producer, he produces the show on KGRADB radio. He spoke to Travis Walton. Now, for those of you who don't know Travis Walton had a movie based on his life called Fire in the Sky. It was a hugely popular movie, and I've met Travis a couple of times. Very generous man with his time, very kind. And I talked to him at some paranormal conferences about his experience of being abducted. And he has agreed to come on the show as a special guest. And I believe he said it was sometime in August. I think it was August 20th, 5th or something, whatever, 18th or 20th. I can't remember. But we're going to find out. We're going to find out when Travis can jump on with us. So we will be doing that show with him. And I am unbelievably, incredibly excited about this. Hold on, Mr. Producer. Let's see. Sorry about this, guys. Because I also have lined up for us a really phenomenal guest, and that's Midnight Syndicate. Midnight Syndicate, they're friends of mine. I've had them on the show several times, and they have said that they would be willing to come on the show and talk about their new album. They are brilliant. I mean, their music is amazing. If you've never heard Midnight Syndicate, check them out. They are really, really, really fantastic. So let me double check here because I can't remember when we, my apologies for this, everybody, but I want to make sure that we get this. I can't remember when they said that they would be willing to come on, and I want to let everybody know about this because it's right around the corner. I thought it was the 18th or 25th or something. I don't know. Either way, we'll have Travis on and we'll have the guys on, even if it's the same day. That's fine. But just bear with me. I got 10,000 emails, so just hang tight, everybody. Just hang tight. All right, here it is. On the 25th. Okay, so that's important. I'm glad. So on 25th, August the 25th, Midnight Syndicate will be on here on this show live. And I tell you guys, if you love powerful music that is kind of, well, I don't even know what type of genre. It's brilliant. It's brilliant. But go to Google and type in Midnight Syndicate. Syndicate is SYNDICATE. And I'll be talking to them. So we'll be live on the 25th. So Mr. Producer, just know that it'll be on the 25th. So if we can get Travis on the 18th, that'd be great. Okay. Yeah, they're great guys. So let's go back to our alien talk and hang tight, Greg. Hang tight with the questions, guys. Hang tight. Hang tight. Well, I'll answer all your demon questions at 8 p.m. Eastern. I promise. Okay. So let's explore the possibility of extraterrestrial life. The vastness of the universe, with its billions of galaxies and countless planets, raises the question of whether life exists beyond Earth. Now, scientific discoveries such as the detection of exoplanets with habitable zones and the presence of water on other celestial bodies have further ignited hope for the existence of alien life forms. However, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence is ongoing, and concrete evidence of their existence, for some, say it hasn't technically be found, but some other people disagree. Now, in contemplating an alien invasion, okay, thank you, Bill. You just sent him the date and message. Yeah, if he can do the 18th, that'd be great, of August. In contemplating an alien invasion, it is crucial to consider the motives that might drive such an event. So fiction often portrays aliens as hostile beings seeking to conquer or exploit Earth's resources. Alternatively, they may be driven by curiosity, scientific exploration. Thank you very much. Thank you. Or merely accidental contact. Now, fictional representations aside, it is possible to predict, it is really impossible to predict the intentions of a hypothetical extraterrestrial beings, making it equally plausible for them to be benevolent or indifferent. And I'm going to take your comments in a minute on this. If an alien invasion were to occur, because that's the topic for this hour, the consequences would undoubtedly be enormous. I mean, technologically advanced extraterrestrial civilizations could possess weaponry and capabilities far beyond our comprehension, potentially rendering our conventional defense systems obsolete. And the sudden disruption of our social, economic, and political structures would create widespread panic and chaos. However, it is essential to remember that speculation about alien invasion, it's purely speculative, and humanity's ability to adapt and respond to crisis should not ever be underestimated. Now, in saying that, in the face of an alien invasion, unity and resilience would be paramount. I mean, we would have to work with every single nation on this earth. Historically, humanity has demonstrated remarkable strength when confronted with existential threats, despite our differences. Now, we have come together during times of crisis to overcome adversity. An alien invasion would undoubtedly prompt a global response, fostering international cooperation, you would hope, pooling resources, prioritizing survival over differences. The event could potentially serve as a catalyst for transcending divisions and working towards a common goal, which is the preservation of our species. And do me a favor on the moderators on TikTok, just remind people that I'll be answering demonic questions at 8 p.m. Eastern. While the concept of an alien invasion has fascinated and intrigued humanity for generations, it remains right now purely a speculative situation for some. The existence of extraterrestrial life is yet to be confirmed definitely, without question. However, contemplating the hypothetical scenarios surrounding an alien invasion provides an opportunity to reflect on our vulnerabilities. And I think we are very vulnerable should something like this happen, which is kind of scary. Regardless of our existence or nature of extraterrestrial life, the exploration of such possibilities encourages us to appreciate the resilience and strength inherent in the human spirit. Now, here's why I want to talk about this, because this is really, really important. For those of you who don't know, there was recently a hearing, a congressional hearing. Again, let me repeat that. There was a congressional hearing. And there were individuals. For those of you who don't know, when I saw this, and I was flabbergasted. A congressional hearing on UFOs that was recently held the other day by the Republican-led House Oversight Committee is the third such hearing to be held in just 18 months. Now, first of all, let that sink in for a moment. This is the third hearing in just 18 months. The hearing is only the third of its kind to be held in the last 50 years. Now, folks, this is why you can't, this is big, huge news. A third hearing in just 18 months. And the hearing is the only third of its kind to be held in the last 50 years. So prior to the most recent hearings held in consecutive years, no open congressional hearings on the UFO phenomenon had been held since the days of Project Blue Book. That was a government study on UFOs that ran from 1952 to 1969. Well, here was for those of you who don't know, 3 witnesses were interviewed by the committee, including government insider David Charles Grush. He's 36 years old, who said, quote, "I was informed in the course of my official duties of a multi-decade UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering program to which I was denied access. UAP, unidentified aerial phenomenon. Reverse engineering means what they do is if they find like a crash, a spaceship, they will reverse engineer to figure out how it works. So they take it apart and try to figure out, okay, how does this, that's what reverse engineering is. Now, Grush is a decorated, for those of you who say this is stupid and these people are not credible, that would be incorrect. Grush is a decorated former combat officer in Afghanistan, is a veteran of the National Geospatial Intelligence Agency and a National Reconnaissance Officer, and served as a Reconnaissance Office representative to the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force from 2019 to 2021. Then, from late 2021 to 2022, he was the NGA's co-lead for the UAP analysis and is representative to the task force. So the UAP is the current government name, basically, for the UFO. So UFO, basically, when they kind of change UFO to UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. Same thing, unidentified flying object. Now, Grush has since turned to, he's now a whistleblower, said that the information regarding the recovered craft has been illegally withheld from Congress, and he has filed a complaint alleging that he has been the victim of illegal retaliation for his confidential disclosures. He described, by the way, the retaliation is very brutal. He says, "It hurt me both professionally and personally." He went on to say, under questioning, under oath, that he had knowledge of, quote, people who have been harmed or injured as a part of government efforts to conceal information on UFOs, and that he had feared for his life as a result. He says, quote, "I am hopeful that my actions will ultimately lead to a positive outcome of increased transparency." So Grush told the committee, now get this, listen to this. He told the committee, the Congress, that recoveries of materials up to and including intact vehicles, spaceships, have been made for decades. and continue to be made by the U.S. government, its allies, and defense contractors. And people can say whatever they want to say. They say, well, that's just so stupid. These are credible witnesses. These are the people that know. Furthermore, he said, analysis performed on these materials has determined that they are of, quote, of exotic origin, non-human intelligence, whether extraterrestrial or unknown origin, based on the vehicle and material science testing in the possession of the unique atomic arrangements and radiological signatures. In other words, it's not man-made. He also told about the recovery of non-human entities from UFO crash retrievals. So he has said that these are non-human entities that have been retrieved. And again, this guy is a veteran. He is the director of the UAP task force. This is the guy who would know. He says, as I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. He added that these biologics were non-human. And that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to. They're currently still in the program, he says. Now, keep in mind, he was unwilling to go into detail on some previously made claims, such as the United States government possession of a, quote, very large, like a football field kind of size craft, mentioned in an interview with News Nation. That's 100 feet long, folks. I played football. It's 100 feet. Or a belt-like craft discussed with French newspaper Le Parisien, citing issues of security. But he did say he would not elaborate on that, but he said he'll talk to the Congress privately. Now, while Grush has not seen any of the alleged alien craft or entities himself, he said his claims are based on, quote, extensive interviews with high-level intelligence officers. Thank you very much, Ellen. Thank you. Sue, I think Goff, spokesperson for AARO, said in a statement that the office has not discovered any verifiable information to substantiate claims in any programs regarding the possessions of reverse engineering. Of course, you're going to say that. Now, also interviewed were David Fravor, the former Navy commander who recalled seeing a UFO during the filming of the now famous USS Nimitz Tic Tac encounter off the coast of California in 2004. And Ryan Graves, an FA-18 Super Hornet pilot and a 10-year Navy veteran who's retired now, who claimed that UFOs were a regular occurrence off the Atlantic coast, quote, every day for at least a couple of years. Something is happening, and I don't care what anybody thinks and says. We know, I mean, when Congress has individuals who are actually experienced, who are knowledgeable, who are experts in their field, we cannot deny this. Listen, I'm going to play this for you. This is, there we go. This is Matt Gaetz. He's a congressman, and he actually was asking a question about this. And this is some of the responses. So I do have this, and I want to play it for you. So bear with me for a second, because I think when you hear some of these sound bites, if you guys haven't heard this, I want to play this for you. Okay.
Connected to.
So this is my Matt Gaetz.
The image, and we did meet with one member of the flight crew who took the image. The image was of something that I am not able to attach to any human capability, either from the United States or from any of our adversaries. And I'm somewhat informed on the matter, having served on the Armed Services Committee for 7 years, having served on the committee that oversees DARPA and advanced technologies for several years. When we spoke with the flight crew, and when he showed us the photo that he'd taken, I asked why the video wasn't engaged, why we didn't have a FLIR system that worked. Here's what he said. They were out on a test mission that day over the Gulf of Mexico. And when you're on a test mission, you're supposed to have clear airspace. Not supposed to be anything that shows up. And they saw a sequence of 4 craft in a clear diamond formation for which there is a radar sequence that I alone have observed in the United States Congress. One of the pilots goes to check out that diamond formation and sees a large floating, what I can only describe as an orb. Again, like I said, not of any human capability that I'm aware of. And when he approached, he said that his radar went down. He said that his FLIR system malfunctioned and that he had to manually take this image.
That is insane. Folks, you're talking about a state-of-the-art aircraft. And then everything just completely malfunctioned while they're trying to find out what this image, what this UFO basically is. And everything malfunctioned. All right, here's another one. This is a Mr. Burchett. He is a congressman, and he asked a question here. So I want to play this for you.
Do you have any personal knowledge of people who have been harmed or injured in efforts to cover up or conceal these extraterrestrial technology?
Yes. Personally.
Have anyone been murdered that you would think that you know of or have heard of, I guess?
I have to be careful asking that question. I directed people with that knowledge to the appropriate authorities.
At one point, you had said that there has been harmful activity or aggressive activity. Has any of the activity been aggressive, been hostile in your reports?
I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured, and the activity. I got
by UAPs or by people within the federal government?
Both.
Okay, so there has been activity by alien or non-human technology and or beings that has caused harm to humans.
I can't get into the specifics in an open environment, but at least the activity that I personally witnessed, and I have to be very careful here because they tell you never to acknowledge tradecraft, right? So what I personally witnessed myself and my wife was very disturbing.
Again, people are, the trolls are going to be trolls. I really don't care what they have to say. But yet they can't argue. They cannot reduce these people's credibility. So what they do is they make rude comments because they can't dispute. I mean, they can't dispute. These people have nothing to gain by going public. They have everything to lose, but they truly feel that something needs to be done about this. And I applaud them for doing so. So instead of actually having a conversation, what they do is people like to attack and, oh, this is stupid or that's stupid or they're dumb. They don't even know these people. These people are far more experts in their field than any of us could possibly be when it comes to the military. I didn't serve in the military. I'm not a retired fighter pilot. These people are directors. These are not Joe Blow that they just got off the street. So these people are not giving an opinion. They're giving facts based on what they have seen and witnessed. Here is here's another I want to present to you. Listen to this.
4 of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat. Look,
so this speaking right now is
all 4 of us, because we were in F-18.
Okay, this guy is a Navy commander, an ex-Navy. He's retired, so he's a Navy commander. So anybody, whatever. And he says that there was a UFO or your UAP flying Tic Tac object never ever investigated. Watch this. Listen to this.
All 4 of us, because we were in F-18Fs, so we had pilots and Wizzo in the back seat, looked down a small, saw a white Tic Tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping pong ball. There were no rotors, no rotor wash, or any sign of visible control surfaces like wings. As we started clockwise towards the object, my Wizzo and I decided to go down and take a closer look with the other aircraft staying in high cover to observe both us and the Tic Tac. We proceeded around the circle about 90 degrees from the start of our descent, and the object suddenly shifted its longitudinal axis, aligned it with my aircraft, and began to climb. We continued down another 270 degrees, nose low, where the Tic Tac, or we considered 270 degrees to where, and we went nose low to where the Tic Tac would have been. Our altitude at this point was about 15,000 feet, and the Tic Tac was about 12,000. As we pulled nose onto the object, within about a half mile of it, it rapidly accelerated in front of us and disappeared. Our wingman, roughly 8,000 feet above us, lost contact also. We immediately turned back to see where the whitewater was at, and it was gone also.
What kind of reporting took place after that incident?
Insane.
None. We had a standard debrief where the backseaters went down to our carrier intel center and briefed what had happened, and that was it. No one else talked to us, and I was in the top 20 in the battle group. No one came. The captain was aware, the admiral was aware, nothing was done.
Again, this is a Navy commander in the fastest plane you could that we have as far as military, and they can't keep up with these things that's flying. He decided it's like a small little tic tac, but of course I imagine if they actually were able to get closer, they're probably much bigger. But our F-18s can't keep up with these things.
My name is Ryan Fobbs Graves, and I'm a former F-18.
So this guy is a UFO. He is a former Navy pilot, and he says that seeing UFOs are routine. Listen to this.
My name is Ryan Fobbs Graves, and I'm a former F-18 pilot with a decade of service in the U.S. Navy, including 2 deployments in Operation Enduring Freedom and Operation Inherent Resolve. I have experienced advanced UAP firsthand, and I'm here to voice the concerns of more than 30 commercial aircrew and military veterans who have confided their similar encounters with me. Today, I would like to highlight 3 critical issues that demand our action. As we convene here, UAP are in our airspace, but they are grossly underreported. These sightings are not rare or isolated, they are routine. Military aircrew and commercial pilots, trained observers whose lives depend on accurate identification, are frequently witnessing these phenomena. The stigma attached to UAP is real and powerful and challenges national security. It silences commercial pilots who fear professional repercussions, discourages witnesses, and is only compounded by recent government claims questioning the credibility of eyewitness testimony. Parts of our government are aware of more about UAP than they let on, but excessive classification practices keep crucial information hidden. Since 2021, all UAP videos are classified as secret or above. This level of secrecy not only impedes our understanding, but fuels speculation and mistrust.
Like he said, they are trained. This is what they are trained to do. They're trained to see and obviously maintain a safe area when they fly and making sure. These are pilots, and he is saying that UAPs are common. Here's another one.
We were primarily seeing dark gray.
So now he's describing what this pilot is now describing what, in fact, he has actually been seeing.
We were primarily seeing dark gray or black cubes inside of a clear sphere.
Looked down a small, saw a white tic-tac object with a longitudinal axis pointing north-south and moving very abruptly over the water like a ping pong ball.
These objects were staying completely stationary in Category 4 hurricane winds. These same objects would then accelerate to supersonic speeds, 1.1, 1.2 Mach, and they would do so in very erratic and quick behaviors that I don't have an explanation for.
You know, I'm not like a UFO fanatic. It's not me, but I will tell you that what we saw with 4 sets of eyes over a 5-minute period, still, we have nothing close to it.
Yeah.
I believe that our government is in possession of UAPs.
Absolutely, based on interviewing over 40 witnesses over 4 years.
And where?
I know the exact locations, and those locations were provided to the Inspector General.
If you believe we have crashed craft, stated earlier, do we have the bodies of the pilots who piloted this craft?
As I've stated publicly already in my News Nation interview, biologics came with some of these recoveries. Yeah.
Were they, I guess, human or non-human biologics?
Non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program.
Do you believe our government has made contact with intelligent extraterrestrials?
Something I can't discuss in public setting.
Do you have any information that the U.S. government is involved in a disinformation campaign to deny the existence of certain UAPs?
I can't go beyond what I've already stated publicly in my News Nation interview because it touches other sensitivities.
Man, there's just something so here you have individuals who are military. You have trained pilots. we have the most powerful military equipment in the world, and we can't keep up with these things. And people say, well, it's a weather balloon. You can't stay stationary in a hurricane classification 4 and stay stationary on a weather balloon. It doesn't work that way. This is, yeah, right. The category 4 hurricane is catastrophic. And yet this thing, whatever it was in there, it was stationary, he reports. So here's the question that I pose to all of you, because that's the point of this particular show for this evening. What could we realistically do to stop an alien invasion? The fact is, if those of you know, I'm a huge space nerd. I went to space camp when I was a kid. I went to Huntsville, Alabama. I am convinced, no question, I am convinced that something is going on. I am convinced that there is alien life. There's just too much evidence. There's too much evidence. And these people have nothing to gain by going public. If you understand, if you look at our solar system, I talked about this several times before. Do you realize how massive just our solar system is? And our solar system is a speck of dust compared to the universe. A speck of dust. To give you an idea of how huge just our solar system is, and we're relatively small. If you take a rocket and you fly it off from Earth to Jupiter, traveling 42,000 miles per hour, it will take you 10 years to get there. Now, let that sink in for a moment. 42,000 miles per hour, 42,000. And it still takes you 10 years to get to Jupiter. Now, and again, there are billions of galaxies, billions in our universe, with a B, billions. And we are just one small speck of dust. The concern that I have is if, in fact, there was this alien existence, which I believe there is, we would be so disadvantaged when it comes to technology compared to them. What do you do? So here is an article that I wanted to present to you guys by Christopher McFadden. And the question is, what can we realistically do to stop an alien invasion? I do believe that they are here. I believe that the UAPs, the unidentified aerial phenomena, I believe that they've already been testified. They've already testified in front of Congress that they do have craft that's been retrieved, and they do have bodies that have been retrieved that are not of human species. Now, first contact with aliens is a common theme in many science fiction stories, often depicted as either the most remarkable event in human history or its end. It would undoubtedly change everything. And we're seriously, this is, many people maybe 30 years ago would have thought, okay, UFOs were kind of like, yeah, that kind of comment. Now it's actually being taken very seriously. And it should be. But should things turn nasty, what could we really do to evade extinction? Well, this author says this. It's probably worth exploring if we actually have anything to fear before we get into the nitty-gritty about potential defensive strategies for our planet. While we can only know for sure if an alien species would be aggressive by actually meeting them, we can make some educated guesses about how such an encounter might perhaps turn out. Some of the greatest scientific minds, like Stephen Hawking, Paul's due to Puerto Rico. I'll tell you what, it says here, have famously warned about not announcing our existence to the universe. He believes that bumping into extraterrestrial life would be devastating for our species, or he believed. He passed away. He says, quote, he said, if aliens ever visit us, I think the outcome would be much as when Christopher Columbus first landed in America, which didn't turn out very well for the Native Americans. Hawking said in a 2010 documentary for the Discovery Channel, a civilization reading one of our messages could be billions of years ahead of us, technologically speaking. If so, they'll be vastly more powerful and may not see us as any more valuable than we see as bacteria. So whether intentionally or by accident, an alien species may wipe us out, or perhaps even worse, consider us as a resource to be harvested. This, for example, is the premise of the first Formic War trilogy, an Ender's Game, a series of novels written by Orson Scott Card and Aaron Johnston. See, in this series, the ant-like aliens called Formics do not consider human beings sentient, since they lack a hive mind. To this end, they begin to prepare Earth for a new colony. And to this end, they mount an invasion, but are defeated through various interesting tactics and extreme sacrifice. Now, while this is obviously fantasy, it does raise some interesting questions. For example, what would aliens look like? Now, many thinkers in this field believe that our first contact with aliens will be with robotic probes or drones rather than living creatures, similarly to how we do not risk human lives on more extended space exploration missions. Aliens may adopt a similar strategy. And this might be for a variety of reasons, but the time required for long journeys and investment in life support systems are chief among them. Yet, other experts also suggest that such robots could be the aliens themselves. Now, it says here, quote, because of the limits of biology and flesh and blood brains, Stephen J. Dick, an astronomer and ex-chief historian for NASA, has argued cultural evolution will eventually result in methods for improving intelligence beyond these biological limits. So robotic aliens are also more likely to make such a long journey, as they will be far more durable than any kind of life we currently know. Perhaps, perhaps not. We just simply don't know. So however such aliens look, many experts have also warned that they will likely be unpredictable. If there are millions or even billions of years ahead of us in development, the outcome of meeting them may not be in our favor. It is quite likely they'd be capable of some aggression, as this kind of behavior is generally favored by natural selection, or at least here on Earth it is. After all, a species that cannot fight to defend itself or hunt is less likely to develop the capacity for exploring the unknown and taking the risk of space travel. You see, on Earth, at least, predatory animals tend to be the ones who have developed problem-solving abilities. The same is probably may well be true for alien life. It may also be the case that aliens, like our own species, have developed the capability of both extreme violence and peaceful compromise. Now, there's also the possibility that humans could unintentionally spark aggressive actions from aliens. Since such a meeting would be incredibly tense, the chances of events spiraling out of control are quite likely. Miscommunication. So the question, how could we fight off an alien invasion? So assuming that a visiting alien race may have less than peaceful intentions, what, if anything, could we actually do about it? So he says, let's look at a couple options. He says, number one, it would be nice to have some warning of an impending attack. So Leslie says, Dr. Stephen Greer states that if the aliens are not that the aliens are not dangerous to us. If they wanted to harm us, they would have already done it. But the government is involved in a cover-up, and they want us to fear. So it looks like our government is protecting us. Yeah. That is a theory. So he says it would be nice to have some warning of an impending attack. I agree. So films like Independence Day 2 or Starship Troopers, many science fiction franchises suggest that in the future, our species will have spent some time building up an early warning system of some kind to defend our planet. Matter of fact, we created a space force. Now, some people argue that is for a defense. Some people say that's for an offense. Either way. So in real life, such a system could be incredibly useful for giving us as much time as possible to prepare for what many thinkers consider an inevitable clash of species. Now, while we have many space observation telescopes on Earth and in orbit, we do, most of these are not explicitly designed to look for an alien craft. However, so long as alien spacecraft don't defy the laws of physics, as we understand them, they could have some use for this task. So, for example, NASA's Wide Field Infrared Survey Explorer, otherwise known as WISE, space telescope, is probably the best bet at present. Of course, assuming that an alien ship is large and slow enough to be picked up and tracked. So like the Search for Extraterrestrial Intelligence, or SETI, that's what it stands for. Other programs are specifically designed for hunting for potential alien communications. But most efforts scan only a tiny portion of the sky at one time, and we would need to be very lucky to detect an incoming ship or even fleet using these. So assuming that aliens would be broadcasting as they approach potentially inhabited planet. However, we do have some infrastructure on Earth. The task explicitly for hunting for potential threats to our planet. For example, through the Planetary Defense Coordination Office. Yep, folks, it's a thing. NASA constantly monitors the sky for incoming objects like asteroids that could prove dangerous for life on Earth. While NASA and similar organizations are primarily searching for things like near-Earth objects, such systems could also look for incoming spacecraft. And thanks to existing systems like this, we've had some interesting false alarms for potential visiting alien craft over the last few years. But he says we may have better systems in the work as well. So there's a concept called the Universal Robotic Battle Cosmic Platform. You can look that up. Universal Robotic Battle Cosmic Platform. He says might just be the ticket. According to its designers, the Moscow-based International Expert Society of Space Threat Defense, such a system would be completely autonomous and could simultaneously identify, track, and classify potential space threats to our planet. So this platform would be an armed, unpiloted space station with onboard weapons capable of destroying both natural and human-made objects threatening Earth. Using a fully automated system, the international platform could monitor threats, such as asteroids or comets, space debris, ballistic missiles, and yes, perhaps even alien ships. Could even be outfitted with its own planetary defense weapons. Okay. However, such a platform could also be used potentially to target things on Earth. He says also, don't let them land. So this author says, nuke them in space. That's one of the things he says we should consider. Once we've detected an approaching spaceship, assuming the aliens are known to be hostile, which may be impossible to determine in advance of their arrival, what actions could be taken to stop them? Since an actual full-scale invasion would likely get very messy. The best option for us, he says, would be to stop them dead, so to speak, before they get to us. Nuking them might be an option. But would this actually work? Expert opinion, unsurprisingly, divided on this subject. Some believe that an alien spacecraft will likely be designed and built to be as light as possible, and this may make them susceptible to nuclear strikes if we can actually hit the ship. However, like plans to defend Earth from asteroids, we'd likely need to penetrate the ship and detonate bombs inside it rather than impact on the surface. Well, they would obviously have some type of defense. Believe it or not, researchers have considered plans for spacecraft capable of doing this today. There is a spaceship now. It is an asteroid intercept vehicle. And the spacecraft is designed to carry a nuclear weapon to an approaching asteroid and blow it up before it becomes... They made a movie out of this. I forgot what movie it was called, but the concept, Armageddon. So they actually have this spacecraft that they're trying to build. Now, it should also be possible to weaponize such a device to intercept and potentially knock out an alien spaceship. But once again, we would need to ensure that this craft could actually bore a hole through an alien spaceship's hull. Now, he says, or if they landed, could we just shoot them? And again, I'll get to your questions. And again, hold on, I'll get to your questions. Should our most devastating weapons, nukes, fail to stop them in space? Well, that's a problem. And they launch an invasion, what can we do? Would small arms, for example, be any use at all? Well, no, because if a nuclear bomb's not going to take care of it, then what is a bullet going to do? Well, he says, once again, opinion is mixed on the subject. But if defense weapons like energy shields are a scientific impossibility, as some believe, then could weapons such as firearms hurt them? Possibly not. He says also, number 4, we could do this. Are there any secret weapons we could use against aliens? Well, if aliens attacked us, is there any possibility the world's military powers have something secret up their sleeves to save us? After all, this is often what happens in the movies. While such programs are of utmost secrecy by their very nature, most of the advanced weapons we know about today were also once hidden from view. So the Pentagon's Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency, otherwise known as DARPA, for example, is famed for its secret weapons research. Defense contractors are another potential source of some futuristic tech too. You should read, by the way, you should read a little bit up on DARPA. DARPA is a really interesting thing. There is actually one example is a high energy liquid laser defense system. Thank you. And while its name is less than inspiring, this directed energy weapon is not something to be taken lightly. So currently in development by DARPA, this system will utilize high energy lasers capable of targeting, tracking, and ultimately destroying targets. At present, the lasers under development, as far as we know, are too heavy to mount on an aircraft. But plans are afoot to miniaturize a 150 kilowatt variant in the future. That's scary enough as it is. Now, whether such a weapon would have any utility against alien craft can be speculated. DARPA might also have something in the works for super speedy and maneuverable aircraft that could be pivotal. So called the Falcon HTV-2. HTV-2. This is experimental hypersonic uncrewed rocket launched aerial vehicle. So according to DARPA, this craft will be able to reach Mach 20 and appears to be primarily designed as a reconnaissance craft with some additional development. And then he says number 5. So if we can't nuke them or shoot them, what's left? If our mightiest weapons fail us, what do we have left? Probably only enough time to make peace with our makers. But seriously, he says, what would be our final line of defense? While we as species are incredibly adept at fighting conflict here on Earth, our technology and tactics would probably be woefully inadequate for resisting an alien attack of this kind. Such a conflict would likely be short, brutal, and devastating. In fact, some experts, such as Annie Simon, a biology professor who is an advisor on the X-Files, believe such an encounter would be like the Roman Empire fighting the United States military today. But it would probably be a lot worse. After all, an entire Roman legion might be able to kill at least a few modern soldiers, especially if they ran out of ammunition. But against a highly developed and aggressive alien race, we might be lucky enough to get the better of a handful of them. That's assuming, of course, they'd even bother to put up their own lives at risk. So that's, it's kind of one of those things. What do we do? I mean, I guess we all hope perhaps maybe that if these things are here, which I believe that they are, I absolutely believe that there is something going on. I know there is something going on. I believe that logically speaking, I believe because and now the government is speaking too much about this. Something I believe, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist kind of a guy, but I believe something is happening. And I don't know what. And I would like to know what your thoughts are on this. What are your thoughts? Something is happening to where the government is speaking a lot more about this. And now they're speaking publicly, congressional hearings about this. And they're having people who are not wearing tinfoil hats on their head and think that everything's a demon. They're talking to people who are credible, who are experts, who know what they're talking about, who know what they've seen. And I'm just curious. I'm going to read some of your comments now because I want to know what you guys think about this. And by the way, Instagram, it might, if it kicks you off, you might have to come back because it sometimes will do that. Yeah, I mean, there's the theory that this is, the possibility of the government trying to slowly drip, the information to not cause as much frighten and terror, being terrified. And so there are theories that the government knows something and they're just slowly trying to prepare us so that it doesn't cause a mass panic, well, yeah, everything created is created by God, everything. And so, but that doesn't mean that, that they may not exist people say, well, why would they harm us? Why would they take us? Why would they do experiments on us? Why do we do that to animals? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, humanity has done some pretty terrible, god-awful things to animals, all in the name of beauty, all in the name of perfume and cologne. I mean, when I was at Loyola University, I did my presentation. I did a paper on animal experimentation. And my God, some of the experimentations that we've done on animals is barbaric. I mean, truly barbaric. So if we are capable of taking a species that we consider inferior, then why would they not have the same thought? No, the Bible doesn't talk about aliens. But the Bible doesn't talk about, see, a lot of people ask, well, the Bible didn't talk about Apple computers, or telephones, or space shuttles, or, telescopes. I mean, so I just think that the Bible doesn't talk about a lot of things that we have today, but we know that they exist. But the question is what do we do with this situation? Folks, again, if you're trying to come onto the show, you can't. So I wish I could bring you on, but I can't because I run the show on 3 different computers. So nobody else is going to be able to see you except for that platform. So I can't bring you on TikTok because only people on TikTok will hear or see you, or on Instagram, same thing. So I can't bring you guys on. I wish I could, but unfortunately, I can't. So no, I do not believe aliens are fallen angels. I'm sorry. I don't believe that aliens are demons. I believe that they are species that are created just as humans. I just simply do not believe that they're fallen angels. Well, the book of Enoch has a lot of issues. The book of Enoch that's why I've read the book of Enoch, and there's a lot of errors in the book of Enoch. And so I'm not a big fan of the book of Enoch because of the errors within it. Now you can ask a question, but please keep in mind I have 3 computers and I'm being slammed with questions on people sending me messages on Facebook Messenger, on Twitter. So there's a lot of screens right now where people are asking questions. So if I don't answer your question, it's not because I'm being rude. It's because a lot of people are asking. So yeah, the serenity prayer, accept the things I cannot change. So, well, I do believe God created all things. So, but that's the thing, isn't it? Because, why would God create ETs and humans? We simply don't know. I mean, we don't know, but I don't believe if you think, for example, think of, this is as elementary as I can possibly get. Imagine the universe. Imagine the universe being the Pacific Ocean. Okay, that's the universe. Our galaxy, which is pretty decent size, well, if you want to call it big size, we're pretty small. But again, it takes 10 years to get to Jupiter going 42,000 miles per hour. If you were to drop a sand pebble right in the Pacific Ocean, and the Pacific Ocean represents the universe, that is the size of our galaxy. Now, again, this is what I learned this when I was at space camp. So Pacific Ocean, massive. That's the universe. And take one tiny bitty sand pebble and drop it in the ocean. That's our galaxy. That's our little tiny solar system. And there are billions of our type of solar systems in the universe. Yeah, as a matter of fact, I've been talking about it. I just played several things about that. Yeah, so I think something is occurring. I think we're all subject to God's final judgment, but I don't know. I don't really know what people ask me. What do we do? I can't control it. I don't have weapons to. I mean, goodness gracious, I don't even think that we have weapons. Truthful, honestly, I don't. I think that if an alien invasion did occur, let's just say it did. Yeah, I know, Debbie. I was on for the whole hour. I've been talking about that. Yeah, matter of fact, I played sound bites. You might have just joined us. But if these aliens came to us, they are going to be so technologically advanced, so superior, that I just simply don't think that we have the type of weaponry that could stop them. I just don't. So, yeah, the multiverse is really interesting too, isn't it? There's a theory that there are dimensions, multiverses that exist, and that they're able, that the belief is that, especially through time and space, because we're so far away, that the alien life is able to time warp, if you will, like a wormhole, and immediately go through this wormhole and enter into our solar system. At least that's the theory. But I don't know. I just want to know. I really do want to know. Do you think that there is something going on? Do you believe that there is an alien invasion? Do you think it's imminent? Let me ask you that. Do you believe that an alien invasion, or at least us saying, okay, yep, there's a ship, it's here. Do you believe it's imminent? Yes, no. Okay, no. I went to space camp in Huntsville, Alabama. Okay, see, here's what's interesting. Here, because I'm seeing some no's, but then how do you then explain the three individuals who are credible, more credible than any of us? I mean, they're Navy commanders, they're fighter pilots. They're telling us they testified on Capitol Hill that these things exist. And not only do they testify that aircraft have captured, and that non-human life has been taken, that we have them. So my question for you is, if these are individuals who are credible more than any of us here right now, unless you work in Area 51, I don't know, but none of us have the expertise that the three individuals do who testified in Capitol Hill. So, okay, that's fair. So aliens, possibility, you believe that aliens are possible? Okay. But you don't necessarily believe in that an invasion. See, and I understand people are saying, well, if they wanted to invade us, they would have already done it. That's a fair argument. That is a very, very fair argument. And that you can't deny that, because clearly if they're here, they would have already destroyed us if that was their intent. And that is a very, very solid argument. But let me ask you this. How many of you actually believe, based on what I played in the first hour, just clippets of the three individuals who testified on Congress, how many of you are at least willing to say that, yep, alien life exists? Let me ask you that question. And then we'll get to your demon questions. I answer demon questions all the time. I do it constantly, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's, I like to talk about other topics besides demons, because we have to sensationalize demons. Okay, so yes, yep. Okay, so everybody's saying yes, no. If they were to attack and destroy humankind, there would be no tribulation. Okay. Okay, so do you believe that there could be an alien invasion? On TikTok, 74% said yes and 25% said no. Okay, that's interesting. Okay, now, hey, if we could put another thing up there. Do you believe that UFOs are here? That alien life craft, spacecraft are here? I tell you what. Yeah, I agree, Jennifer. I like to talk about other things. So really, no. Then okay, for those of you who say no, then you got to explain to me. You have to explain to me, why do you think these three people who are credible, who are they're experts in their field, why do you think that they would testify in Congress under oath that in fact alien craft have been recovered and the bodies as well? I mean, because if they're lying, they could be actually held in contempt. They could get in some serious trouble. So a distraction. Oh, thank you. Thank you. I appreciate the gifts. Thank you. Yeah, you're right. I agree. They have nothing to gain from lying. Now, some people say it's a big government operative, that it's a cover up. I've heard those conspiracy theories. I have heard those before, but I'm not. I don't understand what do you think they're covering up for? Obviously, some people think it's going to be a bigger issue, that there's going to be something that they're trying. It's like a red flag operation, if you will. And yes, I've already answered. Aliens, all things are created by God. Well, I don't think aliens are God, but okay. All right. Well, I don't know. I don't know. If you think, is there a cover up? I just don't think so. I don't think so. Do you believe UFOs are here? Wow, almost 93% said yes on TikTok, and only 7% said no. I believe that they're here. Is it a big cover up? I just don't. I don't think so. I just don't. I don't think that this is a false flag to say, hey, look over here, not over here. I'm not really. I understand false flags, and yes, the military has used them before. We know that they've used them before. Okay, but I also think that there's something else going on, and I personally believe that they are in fact here, and I do believe that we have recovered these ships. I do believe that we have recovered some bodies. The individuals testified in the Congress today, and so to me, I think there's something going on. For those of you who don't know, Neville Naidu, or most realistic alien invasion movies of all time. If you're interested in watching some alien movies, well, this is what they say: the fifth wave. The fifth wave is number. He says, take a look at that. The fifth wave. Another one is Invaders from Mars. It's a 1953 Invaders from Mars. Earth versus the Flying Saucers. It's a 1956 movie. The next movie is The Tomorrow War. The Tomorrow War. And if you want to watch alien movies, invasion movies, the next on the list is Battle Los Angeles. And then I'm going to get into your demon questions, for God forbid if we talk about anything else but demons. But the Battle Los Angeles is the next movie. The next one is Arrival. I didn't like Arrival. I thought that kind of put me to sleep. The next one is Cloverfield. I cannot look. I was really irritated with Cloverfield. I don't know why the directors on these movies thinks it's a good idea to shake the camera around like you're having a seizure. When I'm watching a movie, I don't want the camera everywhere like this. Seriously. Why? I understand it creates panic and chaos, but that is the most annoying thing in the world. So I wish directors would stop that. If you think that it's a clever idea to have a camera and then you're all over the place, it's stupid. It doesn't make sense. I hate it. It makes me dizzy. I want a camera to be stationary so I can watch the scene. But this going all over the place stuff, it drives me nuts. Drives me. Cloverfield was one of the worst. I hated it. But it could have been good. It could have been really good if they just kept the darn camera stationary. Independence Day, of course. And he says another one is Invasion of the Body Snatchers, the 1956 film. I like this one, A War of the Worlds. Now, personally, I like the Tom Hanks. I thought that was a very. I personally like that one. The other one is The Thing. It was 1982, and they did a remake on that as well. Another movie called The Vast of Night. And I'm going faster because I'm trying to get into the other demon question. The other one is Under the Skin. Under the Skin. Annihilation. I think you're Jordan. Annihilation. I saw that. It was all right. Slither. Slither. I saw that. I think, the next one is Life. That was pretty interesting. Life was pretty interesting. They had pretty good actors in there, of course, as well. I didn't like this one. I thought I was kind of bored with it. Signs. You can go back and watch it later when you just, it'll be on my Facebook. You can just go back and watch this. And then you can kind of write them down here. The next one is Close Encounters of the Third Kind. Yep. Then it says They Live from the 80s. And then, of course, and Knowing is also one. It's not on that list, but I agree with you, Jan. Knowing is a great movie. And then, of course, District 9. District 9 was an interesting movie. That wasn't too bad. I don't know. The Fourth Kind. I've not seen that. I've been wanting to see The Fourth Kind. People keep telling me I need to, but I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that one, but I need to do this. Yeah, I need to check that out. I did not like Contact. I just did not like it. Dark Skies. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, District 9 was pretty good. I have been told that they're going to make another one. Lost in Space series. You know what? That's you can't go wrong with Lost in Space. Matter of fact, I have all the on the old television. It's the 60s. The Dr. Spock and not Dr. Spock, Dr. Smith. And oh yeah, you gotta love it. I went back and watched it the other day. I thought, man, that is cheesy. That is some cheesy television, but it's still pretty cool. Yeah, Lost in Space is warning. What is the most scary of them? I don't know, Shannon. Of all those, probably The Thing. They have the 1980s, and then they remade it. So I probably would say The Thing. Is The Fourth Kind? People keep telling me I need to watch The Fourth Kind. Deep Impact is a good one too. Have you seen The Fourth? Who have seen The Fourth Kind? Did you like it? Yeah, Mars Attack is great. I have not seen The Fourth Kind, but people keep telling me The Abyss is wonderful too. And yep, Fire in the Sky. Okay, I've got to watch The Fourth Kind because everyone is telling me I've got to watch it. Now, is that on Netflix? Because I will watch that tonight because everyone keeps telling me I need to do it. And so, okay, I'm going to watch that, The Fourth Kind. Is that a documentary? Prometheus is great too. Is The Fourth Kind a documentary? Because I thought, yeah, Fire in the Sky. Shannon, I'm going to actually have, Travis Walton on the show. So that's the movie he's based. Okay. No, it's based. Okay. It's like a documentary. Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to watch The Fourth Kind, and I'm going to check it out, and I'm going to see what I think, and I'm going to give you guys my honest feedback on it. And we'll go. I have not seen it. Everyone tells me I need to see it. Some people are saying it's based on true events, and other people saying it's fiction. So I don't know what to see. That Tracy says it is fiction as a documentary. Okay, I'm going to watch it. I'll check it out. I promise you. I'm going to watch it tonight. I'm going to watch. I promise you. I'll watch the movie tonight, and then tomorrow we're going to be here. We're not leaving yet. Tomorrow we're going to be here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I will It's for open mic. So for the first 30 minutes, for those of you who don't know, for the first 30 minutes, me and Miss Wilma, we just have a good time. Miss Wilma's 68 years old. She just loves to cut up. So don't get hate. We believe it or not, we have haters who actually come on and I want to talk about demons. And so for the first 30 minutes, me and Miss Wilma, we just talk and we have a good time. We cut up. And then after 8:30, I talk about demons. The problem is, it's not that I'm very passionate about demonology, but I'm so sick and tired of people putting demons here and God down here. I'm just sick and tired of it. Everything is demons. We blow it. Everything is demons. And then I'd say, well, then I start talking about God. Oh no, I don't want to talk about God. Demons. It's like, oh, come on. And it just, to me, it's so frustrating. Because when you start mentioning God, forget it. But let's talk about demons. We elevate demons as a deity, as a God. And I don't know why we do that. I just, that doesn't make sense to me. But I told you I'm a little bit behind schedule, but that's all right. I told you on the, when I started at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, that I have something that I want to share with you guys. And I predicted this would happen. So 2 weeks ago, what do you want to talk about? 2 weeks ago, I did and by the way, for those of you who are offering gifts on TikTok, thank you. And I do humbly apologize for me not saying thank you personally. It's just, again, because I have 3 different computers running at the same time, and there's a lot. So thank you for the gifts, and thank you for the almost 140,000 likes on TikTok right now. Thank you. 2 weeks ago, I told you about a family. I'm going to watch the 4th can tonight. I promise you, I'm going to watch it. But 2 weeks ago, I told you about a family that needed my immediate assistance. There was incredibly violent activity that began in their home. So here we go. We're going to talk about demons. There were children that were scratched. Vicious. I mean, this was severe. The parents, the mom was bitten. She has a bite mark on her leg that it was like an animal. That wasn't regular human teeth. It was jagged, large, like something was trying to take a chunk of her. And the activity, they smelled sulfur, and they began smelling rotten flesh. The religious objects were thrown. They had a crucifix on the wall, and that was literally just flipped over and fell on the wall and shattered. And this family went through some serious stuff. They refused to go back into their home. They would not do it because the children were terrified, and there was a teenage girl, and then there was a younger girl. And so here's what happened. The teenage girl went to the store, and she saw something on the shelf, and she decided to buy it. And she didn't show her mom because she knew that her mom probably wouldn't want her to buy it, but she didn't think it was a bad thing because it's marked as a religious toy, if you will. And so she purchased this. She took it home and she used it, and activity occurred immediately. So I talked to her what happened. She's 14, and her light bulb, she had a light on, one of those lights you can kind of change colors, and she had a black light on, just kind of the mood, and she had her friends over with her, and it completely exploded. The light exploded. And she said because they were on the floor and they were playing with this stupid thing, and the floor began to, the bed began to rattle, and really bad. And the parents came in because the parents thought that they were taking the bed and hitting the hardwood floor with it. And they came in and they were very, very upset. And of course they found out what happened. Of course the mom was very upset, and they threw this thing out. Everything thought that was fine. They thought everything was good. Then the little girl, the 14-year-old girl, was saying that she was seeing shadow people in her room, and they would come and they would kill, like she would feel like somebody kicking her bed, and she would hear noises and growls, and she was obviously terrified. And the younger sister, she had her own room, and then she began experiencing activity and then even burnt marks on her body. And the parents thought that they were, kind of being silly. So they all slept in the same room because the girls were so scared, obviously. And they were all in the bed, and their actual bed began to shake as well. The activity got so bad that the mom on that night was like bitten on her back. But these are not regular bite marks. These are like huge, I can't even, they're almost like, quite honestly, it looks like a shark. That's what it looked like to me. I mean, it was just not a huge great white shark, but it was like a bull shark. It's a pretty good bite, and you can see the imprint, and it was pretty deep. And so I got involved. I asked, I told people I needed to get there, and I did. Well, this toy that this girl played with, this 14-year-old girl played with, and they threw it in the garbage. The next day, they went on the front porch, and it was there. I told them they need to give me the board. And they did. This crap is being sold now. It is called the Holy Spirit Board. It says, communicate directly with Jesus Christ. It's a real thing, folks. And I told you this was going to happen. So I'll show it to you. Okay, so here are the directions. How to use the Holy Spirit board. And by the way, you don't have to worry about it because the directions are right here. And it says here, how to use the Holy Spirit board. The Holy Spirit board, trademark, is the only spirit board that you and your friends can use to communicate directly with our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, either in a group or by yourself. So it says, 1, place the game board on a table or other sturdy, flat surface. Place the magic cross. You heard the magic cross. What is the magic cross? There it is. So you can actually see there where she had her fingernails embedded into it. You guys can't see it there, but I can't see, but her fingernails embedded into the cross. Yeah, there it is. You can see it. So this is the magic cross. Place the magic cross on the board. Have everyone lie. Oh, so now they're going to use Old English to make you think it's official. Have everyone lay thine hands upon the magic cross and say the following prayer. And I'm going to say this prayer. Listen to it. Oh, magical Jesus, please guide our hands to answer our questions. Amen. And next, ask Jesus a question. It can be any question that you want. Jesus knows everything. Let the Holy Spirit guide your hands to move the magic cross around the board. You can ask a yes or no question, or let the magic cross spell out your answers one letter at a time. And when Jesus has answered all your questions, don't forget to say goodbye. And remember, anyone who says that the Holy Spirit board doesn't work is both a liar and a sinner in the eyes of our Lord. Amen. That is a curse. So here's what the board looks like. Guys, I can't put you in the live. That's it. So it's a Ouija board. That's all it is. And you put it here just like a Ouija board. That's all you do. Just like a Ouija board. And so this 14-year-old girl thought, and of course, it's just so appalling. And of course, they have Jesus here. And it is just disgusting. So I've taken that from the family. That was the actual board that I removed from the home. That's the actual board, because she said that when they were playing, her hands felt like it was someone was pushing down really hard, and her nails embedded into the magical cross, as it's called. But that is now the crap that is being sold. Yeah, it goes I'm taking that back to the storage, because I have a storage facility full of items. I did. Someone asked me if I brought the doll. This is the doll that was on the Eli Roth Presents Legion of Exorcists. So that was the episode that I talked about. If you have not seen the show, it's called Eli Roth Presents Legion of Exorcists. And this is the doll. And I talked about how this 3-story McMansion just burned to a crisp. I mean, there was nothing there. There was nothing left in this house. The only thing that was left was this doll sitting on that bookshelf. That was it. And the only thing that's happened here is it was burnt marks here. They have burnt marks on it, but it's porcelain. And that's what I couldn't understand, why in the world this doll didn't catch fire. Why it didn't get destroyed. I didn't understand that. That was kind of, I didn't get it. But anyway, this is the doll. And I'm going to put it back in its case. Yeah, I won't ever, I don't like taking it out on the court. And as a matter of fact, no, I have it back in its case. That was seen, but wow. Everyone on TikTok is saying that TikTok is now frozen. Wow. I'm telling you guys, this is no joke. Okay, I'm back now. I'm telling you, that doll is no joke. That doll is no joke when I tell people that. I was at Louisville Mid-South Paranormal Conference, and I was talking about the doll, and I took it out of its case because everybody wanted to experience it and they wanted to see it. So normally I don't ever do it, but I did, and no one wanted to hold it. No one wanted to touch it. And they told me, please put it back. And so I was putting it back into its case. And someone asked me a question. I got distracted. I put it right next to my laptop. I turned around to address the question, and a firefighter in the front row said, Bishop Long, your computer. The Bishop Long was on fire. The computer was on fire. I have never seen something like that before in my entire life. It actually caught fire. And that was seen by an entire room full of people at the Louisville Mid-South Paranormal Conference. I believe it was in 2015, I think it was something like that. But a whole entire room full of people saw it. No, I would never sell it. No. Only because I would feel terrible if I did something like that, because of what happened to that family. I mean, literally, this house was burnt down on the show, because I'm a cast member on the Eli Roth Presents Legion of Exorcists show. I don't know if there's a season 2 yet. We haven't been told yet. But I'm telling you, when I went to this house, nothing was there. It was all just burnt. Everything was burnt. The only thing standing was an ornate bookshelf and this doll. That was it. Even the wall behind it everything had burnt down to a crisp. And so when I went there and I saw this doll, and I thought, why are they having a doll? That's kind of weird. Why would they have a doll on the shelf? That doesn't make sense. And I asked him about that, and she said, no, you don't understand. That doll was there, and we want it gone, because as soon as they brought that doll in, all hell broke loose in that house. They said, we don't want the doll. Take it away. And I'm telling you, this is the most insane thing in the world. Yeah, I don't know why it keeps freezing there, folks. Let's see. Bill Van is, this may be a dumb question, but I've been asked this half, no answer for it. We know animals can be possessed, but how do you do an exorcism on an animal? Well, you bless an animal. St. Francis was obviously loved and was very, very devoted to animals. And so I have not yet found a situation where I've had to perform an exorcism on a dog. I've blessed dogs before. Sure. I've done that many times. And people say, well, that's just stupid. No, it's not. Actually, if you believe that your dogs are your fur babies, you're part of your family, which my dogs were, they're in heaven now. And my dogs were very, very ill. I've had many people ask me if I would bless their dog, if the dog was about to pray for the dog, if they're going to have a surgery, or if the dog had cancer or something. Absolutely. Absolutely. Why wouldn't I? That just, I mean, I don't understand why I wouldn't. Yeah. Well, demons do resist blessings. They don't want the blessings. They don't want that at all. That's the last thing. That is the last thing that they want. And so you just keep pushing forward. You don't get intimidated. You just, I think there's actually many clergy. There's not many Catholic clergy. As a matter of fact, sometimes even on the feast days of St. Francis, especially St. Francis Parish, if you have a St. Francis Lutheran or Methodist or Catholic, Presbyterian, Episcopalian, sometimes if you have a St. Francis Parish that's named after St. Francis, on the feast day, many times they'll say, bring your pets in, and the clergy member will bless them. I have no issues. I have no problems with that at all. Oh yeah. Your Catholic Church says, yeah. And I think you should. Because to me, our fur babies are our family. And so I just, that's the way I look at it. So absolutely you can. Yeah. So you're right. Lots of Catholic churches do that. So, okay. So let's get into some of your demonic questions, and we'll go from there. How's that? Because I made promises that I would try to go to as many as I possibly can. We had 167,000 likes on TikTok. Wow. Can I get blessed from you before I have open heart surgery? Eric, I would love to. I just don't know how I could do that. I could certainly pray for you, and I'll be happy to do that, like over Zoom or over, like video messenger. I would love to. If you were in Kentucky, I would do that. So yeah, protect yourself. How do you protect yourself? Well, first of all, don't do anything that's going to cause the invitation. Okay, so that's number one. You don't ever want to do that. You don't want to ever do anything that's going to cause an invitation. Okay. I love Psalm 23. I love Psalm 91. I also pray. There's a St. Michael prayer. Of course, the Our Father. I'm very devoted to the Blessed Mother. Okay, Chef, remember, I cannot bring you in because I'm running it on 3 different computers. So I've again, for the people who keep wanting to come in, I can't do that because I have 3 different computers and no one else will be able to hear or see you. So, all right. So anyway, okay. Okay, Chef. I've kind of said like 4 times already that I can't, and I don't want to block you. But now you're kind of being disrespectful because you're constantly doing that. So I'm going to ask you to stop. Okay. So if you don't, I'm going to have one of the moderators block you. I mean, after you told them, good grief. So anyway, yeah, it's a little annoying. When you tell somebody you can't do it and the person keeps doing it, it's a little annoying. Anyway, yeah, St. Michael. I know, Jason. He keeps doing it. He keeps pushing the button over and over and over and over and over. So, hey, for those of you on Instagram, come on over to Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter or TikTok, and then we'll take care of that. Chef, you're not invited. Okay. There we go. We can just fix that problem like that. All right. I mean, seriously, I'm not going to play games with people like that. You tell them over and over, and they keep doing it. So it's kind of, anyway. Why the pumpkin? Because I don't have any other. I like the background, and there was no background that I could find without the pumpkin. So I would love to have one without it, but it doesn't matter to me. If there's a pumpkin, there's a pumpkin. No, let's let him talk. Yeah, the problem is I can't because I've already explained this many times. I can't because I run the show on 3 different computers. So if he comes on, you won't be able to hear him. You won't be able to see him unless you're on Instagram. The same way if you tried to come on, I Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Spreaker can't hear you or see you. So that's why. Okay. Can anything evil come into the house after it's been blessed by a priest? Well, if it's been blessed, can anything evil, like for example, what, Christine? I would need to know specifically, like what are you referring to? Oh, gotcha, Adventures. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I appreciate that, Adventures. Yeah, St. Michael, the St. Michael, by the way, for those of you who don't know, there's a longer form and there is a shorter form for St. Michael prayer. And I just, I do the shorter form. So, St. Michael, the archangel, defend us in battle, be our protection against the malice and snares of the devil. May God rebuke him. We humbly pray and do thou, O Prince of the heavenly post, by power of God, cast into hell Satan and all of his spirits who wander the earth seeking the ruin of souls. So, I mean, obviously you wouldn't say it that fast, but it's a relatively short prayer. How do I sacrifice for the Lord? Every day I try to help people grow closer to God. I do Bible studies on Sundays and Wednesdays. I have night prayer Mondays through Fridays at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I volunteer 10 to 12 hours a day as a chaplain for the hospital. I was a chaplain for the police department. And of course, I'm also responsible for teaching our seminarians. So I try, every day. I could do more, no question. Yeah, there is, like I said, there's a shorter form of St. Michael and there's a longer form. So I'll be on at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow. Now you're welcome. That's tomorrow. Tomorrow night is open mic night. So let me give you a heads up. We're not leaving yet, but remember what we do on tomorrow night. And thank you very much, Judy. What we do is from 8 to 8:30. Me and Miss Wilma, we come on and we joke around, have a good time. Miss Wilma is 68 years old. She's in heart failure. She has a pacemaker. She has multiple sclerosis, but she loves to joke around and put a smile on your face. She just loves to she's just one of those people. It's only for 30 minutes. And then after that, 8:30, then we open it up to any type of topic besides, I'm not interested in having political arguments here. I have my own political opinions. I keep them to myself. I do that because if you're a liberal, I want you to feel comfortable to speak to me without fear of being judged. If you're a conservative, I want you to be able to feel comfortable speaking to me without being judged. So I'm not going to tell you what my political views are. I'm going to keep those to myself because I'm not a politician. I'm clergy. And so that's why I just simply don't, I don't argue politics here. I just don't. There's a lot of people out there that will argue politics all day long on social media, and that's great. That's great if that's what they want to do. But I don't. I won't do that. So, okay. Oh, well, thank you. If you can pick up, if you would like, I would love them adventures. That would be very sweet of you. See, on Friday nights, I love like a paranormal kind of a moon, the woods. I just like it. It's something different. Usually I always have like a stained glass looking window behind me all the time, except for Fridays. Fridays, we just kind of relax a little bit. But yeah, you can, that's a PO box. So if you have I think by the way, it has to be though, 7 by 5. Yep. That's what it is. 7 feet by 5 feet. So, because if the problem is some friends have sent me them before, but I love them, but they were so short I couldn't do it because the camera over here cuts it off. So it has to be 7 feet by 5 feet, and there we go. So in my PO box, I think it's on. I think dreams do have meanings. Yeah, I'm not, but I'm not expert in interpreting them, so I would not be the right person to ask for that. So I don't know. Okay, I'm trying to figure out. I thought I had my PO box, but I guess I don't. I have to put that on my Bishop James Long page. I tell you what I'm going to do. Tonight I'll go on my website and I'll put my PO box up there. So thank you. Okay. Use safe space without all the silly stuff. So nice we don't talk, but yeah, right. I agree. It is very hot. I hope wherever you are, you're staying comfortable. Trinity Mass needs to be brought back to the people. I love it. I have no issues with the Trinity Mass. I think it's beautiful. Matter of fact, when I was in the seminary, there was a parish that was not far from us, and they would have the Trinity Mass. I thought it was beautiful. Yeah, I think it's interesting because in some of the dioceses where they bring in the Trinity, the Mass, it is packed. It is packed, and so it's pretty interesting. So, but I also think there's people who believe anything past Vatican II is invalid. I don't know if I agree with that, because matter and form are still there with the Novus Ordo, and so I'm kind of concerned about people going to the extreme. So. Because the matter and form there, the sacrament is there. Yeah, it was terrible. It was almost 100 degrees here in Kentucky. Okay. What other questions that you have, guys, about demons or anything else? Can Satan appear as a Mary? Well, Satan could try, but there will always be a distortion. I had a demonic that tried to appear as, it mimicked my Aunt Mary, who passed away. And that was my first exorcism. Matter of fact, it was on the show. Eli Roth Presents Legion of Exorcists. It was she mimicked my but there was sort of distortion. The vocalization was not perfect, but it threw me off. I mean, to hear my aunt's voice, and the demonic. There's a term called throwing. You can throw the voice, and what happens is when the demonic will throw a voice, it's like if you go on YouTube and type in 8D surround sound or something like that. I think that's the term. You'll know what I'm talking about. It kind of goes everywhere. You can hear it in the back, over here, in front. And it's very much like a surround sound kind of a thing. So you hear it everywhere. Okay, I have someone asking me on Facebook Messenger. Well, that's kind of rude. Excuse me? Bishop Long, I think you are a fake priest. You're probably wearing a $10,000 Rolex watch. Okay. This is my watch. And the watch is Santa Claus. So, believe me, it did not cost $10. You can buy it on eBay. It was $25. So maybe you can tell Santa he can bring me a $10,000. I would not want that. That's just, yeah. What are you gonna do? So there, sunshine. No, I don't wear a $10,000 watch. I wear a $25 watch from eBay, and it's Santa Claus. Okay. All right. I think it's pretty cool. I love Christmas. I'm all about Christmas. I love Halloween. And so, but yeah, you got to watch those $10,000 Santa Claus watches. I'm telling you something. Woo, big money, big money. Yeah. Okay. All right. Thanks, Mr. Producer. For those of you who are on a Spreaker, I'm going to have to say goodnight to you guys. Okay. For those of you who are here, oh, you know what? I've just noticed that. That's terrible. I just realized that was a whole mistake there. Okay. I don't wear what? Yeah. Tomorrow we're going to be here at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'm going to talk. Miss Miller, we're going to have a chat. I'll be with you guys on TikTok. I'm going to stay with you guys on TikTok for just a little bit. I don't think there's a spirit in the doll. I think there was a demonic that was attached to the doll that she purchased because she became obsessed with it. So, well, Michelle, thank you so much. I appreciate that. I did actually, Bill. I talked about Lilith briefly. I actually had a conversation because people ask me a lot about Lilith, and Lilith is an interesting little story, if you will. There is a theory that Adam had actually been married to Lilith, but that's not necessarily true. There, first of all, she was never a biblical character ever, and she first appeared in I believe in the Babylonian writings in 400 AD or so, or maybe even more. And she was her name was first mentioned in the Jewish writings. She's depicted as a vicious demon who actually stole and even ate babies. But really, there is, apart from the Talmud and other Jewish writings dated as far as back as 700 AD, also mentioned Lilith. But it's ultimately it's culture. It's Jewish writings and culture. There is it's written in secular, but as far as secular writings, but as far as scripture, no, there's nothing. There's absolutely nothing. And we can talk about that in later in detail. But I've got to run for on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So listen to me carefully. TikTok, I'll be with you guys in a minute. For those of you, I want to remind you, your value does not decrease based on someone's inability or refusal to see your worth. Remember, you're priceless, and never let anybody tell you or convince you otherwise. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter. God bless it. I'll see you tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Open Mic Night. The Sacred Division has been brought to you by Bishop Long's online paranormal course. Learn demonology, angelology, paranormal studies, and genealogy. It's 100% online, and you learn at your own pace. Please go to www.bishopjameslong.com and click on the paranormal course link.